Namaste everyone. This is Eleni, a yoga teacher from the Shivam School of Yoga. Today, she will be presenting a lesson of yoga asanas which you can do at home on a daily basis to have a happy and healthy life. She will begin by demonstrating Tara Asana. Tara Asana is one of the most important positions. You place your feet together. Then you interlock your hands in front. Breathing in, you take the hands on top of the head. You must adjust your spine and push it upward. The biceps must be touching the ears. You look at a straight point and breathing in again, you lift your ankles up. You remain in that position as long as you can. And doing that, you keep on putting the focus on the spine. It's a very important position because it reverses all the damage done to the spine and the compression caused by the gravity. We sit and do most of our work. As a result of that, the spinal column starts having compression within it. So Tadasana reverses all that damage. You may do this asana for a period of 2 to 3 minutes. You can keep pushing upward as much as you can all the time. It is an asana which can be performed by any person of any age. The next asana we are going to perform is the Utkat Konasana, where we open both the legs at a 180-degree angle. We bring the hand in front of the chest and breathing out, we slowly go down till the time the pelvis becomes parallel to the ground. It's a very important position for all the women, especially those who are about to give birth or are in the stages of their pregnancy. It is also another very important position to ease the menstrual cramps. This is why it has been called as the goddess asana. We keep the focus on the pelvis and we keep the spine straight. You may do it for 3 minutes. Whenever you get tired, you breathe in and you go up, but you bend your knees slightly. After taking a long deep breath, you breathe out and you come down again. You may do it as per your own comfort. Try doing the asana every day for 3 minutes each. Breathing in, we go up, and now we proceed towards the Trikonasana. The left leg is at a 90-degree angle. The right leg is at a 180-degree angle. The waist is in the front, hips are in the front, chest is in the front, hands are up, and breathing out, we slowly slide towards the right leg. Then we adjust our spine, making it flat on the ground, and the hand which is looking up, we look towards that hand. We maintain the focus on the side of the hamstring and the lower spine. Again, this is a very important position for all the people with a back problem. You may do it as per your own convenience. If someone has a problem with the shoulders, they may even bend their hand and keep it on their waist. You can go down and keep it as much as you can and adjust as much as you want. It doesn't have to be all the time going down. You have to respect your body and understand it. We try remaining in this position also for 2 to 3 minutes. If you get tired, you may breathe in and come up. You may take a long deep breath and again go back to the position as you were before. Remember to keep the focus on the hamstring and side of the waist. This is an asana which has to be performed for both the sides. So breathing in, we go up again, and we do the same thing for the other side. At this point of time, you will understand that one side is more flexible than the other. Whichever side is less flexible, we must do the asana on that side for 1 minute extra. The point is to make the weak side stronger, not the strong side weaker. It is a very important position. Breathing in, we come up. And the next position that we will attempt to do is the Virabhadrasana. First, we take the right leg in the front. We keep our hands on the ground. And we keep the right leg at a 90-degree angle. The thigh is parallel to the ground. The back leg is fully stretched. All the focus needs to be on the pelvis. This opens the pelvis, strengthens the thigh and the lower back. This increases the strength of a person and the stamina of a person. We must perform this for 2 to 3 minutes daily. It will energize you. After having done, we do the same position, the Virabhadrasana, for the other leg. Again, like the previous position, you will understand that one leg is more weaker than the other one. Whichever side is weaker, you try to do that for a longer period of time. If you feel tired, you may breathe out and go up. Take a few long deep breaths. And again, breathing out, you may come down. You have to position the front leg at a 90-degree angle, the thigh parallel to the ground, and the back knee fully stretched. You must keep the focus at all times on the pelvis. This is the Virabhadrasana to add stamina and strength to your body. Each side must be performed for a period of 2 to 3 minutes. After this position, we will enter a more relaxed asana, the Vrikshasana. We stand straight, we take the right leg and we keep it at the pelvis. The knee is next to the body, not in the front, not at the back, right next to the body. We bring the hands in the front of the chest. Once we found our balance, opening the hand from the sideways, breathing in, we stretch the hand upward. You keep pushing the hand upward You keep pushing the biceps upward and the spine upward. This is purely for balance, to increase balance in our life. It brings a sense of balance between the body and the mind and the two parts of the brain, the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. We must do this every day for 2 to 3 minutes. When you get tired, breathing out, you take your hands and your legs down, and we do it for the other side. We take the left leg up, keep it at the base of the pelvis. We take the knee a little bit backwards and keep it next to the body, hand placing at the level of the heart. Once we found the balance, breathing in, we take the hand on top, fully stretching the arm. We must push the spine upward. We must push the biceps, the shoulders upward, and focus on the balance. If we do this asana on a regular basis, our mind will become balanced and we will be able to take rational decisions every moment of our life. The point of doing these asanas is to train the body and the mind and utilize that training when we are not in the yoga class. The next position that we will do is the Titli Asana. So we sit down on the ground. We keep the feet together, facing together. We hold them. We bring the body as close to the heels as possible. And then we move the knees upward and downward in a regular motion. This is a very good pelvis and a hip opener. Most of the people have very tight hips and very tight pelvis. As a result of that, their flexibility of the upper body and the lower body gets badly reflected upon. By doing this asana on a regular basis, we can open up our pelvis and our hips. For various other asanas, this is a base asana to do. It allows you to perform various other asanas which have the significance and the role of the pelvis. After doing it for 2 or 3 minutes, you may place your hands on the knees. And every time you breathe out, you push the knee down. Breathing in, you may take the spine up. And breathing out, you may do this again. You may do this position for a period of 2 to 3 minutes. You may do this while watching the television also, or while doing some other activities also. In the series of our asanas, the next asana which we will perform is the Gomukhasana. We take the left leg from under and we keep it next to the hip. We take the right leg from the top and we also place it next to the hip. Since the right leg is on top, we take the right hand up. We take the left hand from below and we try holding them. If you cannot hold them, not a problem. You may hold the t-shirt as tightly as you can. We must open the chest as much as we can. We may close the eyes. The focus remains on the chest, on the pelvis, and on the spine. Additionally, you can even keep the focus on the shoulder. Gomukhasana is a very important asana for people who have asthma also. It allows the chest to open up and the lungs may proceed for their detoxification process because of this. The Gomukhasana also has a very calming effect on the mind. In this position again, we will realize that two sides of the body behave differently. So now we do it for the other side, where the right leg is under and the left leg is on top. Because the left leg is on top, the left hand is on top and the right hand is below. We take the elbows and we bring them as close to the ear as possible. We push the chest outward. We close the eyes. At this point of time, we would have realized which side of the body is stronger and which side of the body is weaker. Remember, you must always do the weaker side 1 minute extra than the stronger side, without reducing the time for the stronger side. The point is not to make the strong side weak. The point is to make the weak side stronger. We keep the focus on the shoulder, the chest, the pelvis, and the spine. All this while we have to keep performing the yogic breathing, meaning long breathing, deep breathing, rhythmatic breathing, systematic breathing. If you breathe out for 5 seconds, you breathe in for 5 seconds. No mouth breathing, no heavy breathing, no making noises while breathing, only from the nose and as silent as possible. The next asana in the series of the asanas we will do is the Paschimottanasana. We open the legs and keep them together. We take the hands on top of the body, breathing in, taking a long deep breath. We breathe out and we bring the hands next to the toes. We take the head and we bring it close to the knee. Additionally, you may pull the toes towards the body. The Paschimottanasana is a very important asana. It causes the prana to get equally distributed in the whole body. It opens up the hamstring and it has a great effect on the sciatica nerve. Someone who has a problem and cannot go down may do a repetition of this position. You must do this position for 2 to 3 minutes while maintaining the focus on the hamstring and the sciatica nerve. Breathing in after 2 minutes, we may release the asana and lie down on the ground. The next position that we do is the Navasana. So we take a long deep breath. Holding the breath, we come up. The feet are pointed. The upper body makes a V along with the feet. The chest is pushing out. And don't forget to breathe. It's very important. The focus remains on the belly. Many people hold their breath while doing this asana. Please do not make that common mistake. When you get tired, breathing out, go down. And breathing in, you may come up again. You may do this position for a period of 2 to 3 minutes. The longer you do an asana in a continuation, the better it is. But if you are unable to do it continuously, no problem. Do it in repetition. The next position that we will do is the Dvipad Chakrasana. We inhale and lift the feet, and then we make circles with both the feet, breathing out while going down and breathing in while coming up. The relation of breathing with the asana is a very important relationship. The asana has to be performed only with the correct breathing suggested. Breathing out, the leg goes down, the knees are straight, the feet are pointed, and breathing in, the feet come up. You may do up to 30 cycles, roughly. At one point of time, if you get tired, you may keep the feet on the ground, take a few long deep breaths, and then continue again to the target of the 30. The focus remains on the belly at all given points of time, and you must never hold the breath as mentioned earlier. This strengthens the core, removes the belly fat, and increases the gastric fire of the belly, the Jaఠragni. Once this asana has been performed, we will get into Ardha Pavan Muktasana. We hold the feet as tightly as possible, and we take the nose and keep it between the knees. The focus remains on the digestive system and the excretory system. Anyone facing constipation, indigestion, may do this on a regular basis. After that, for doing it for 2 to 3 minutes, we release the feet and we roll over to our belly. We place the hands under the chin. This is the Ardha Salabhasana. Breathing in, we lift the right leg up. Remember, we do not lift the pelvis above the ground. The knee is straight, the feet is pointed. The focus remains concentrated on the lower spine. We do it for 2 to 3 minutes. And after having done for 2 to 3 minutes, we repeat it for the other side. Remember, one side will be weaker and one side will be stronger. Whichever side is weaker, we do that side for 1 minute extra to strengthen it. Don't forget to breathe properly and perform the yogic breathing, that is long breathing, deep breathing, rhythmatic breathing, systematic breathing. If you breathe out for 5 seconds, you breathe in for 5 seconds. No mouth breathing, no heavy breathing, no making noises while breathing, only nose breathing and silent breathing. During the asana, we must always do the yogic breathing. After doing it for 2 to 3 minutes, you may relax the feet and bring them together now. Now we perform the Bhujangasana. We keep the hands under our shoulder and breathing in, we lift the upper body up while the pelvis remains firmly placed on the ground. We push the shoulders back, we open up the chest and we take the head backward. The focus here is on the solar plexus, a very important position, especially for those people who have lower back problems, to strengthen the lower back, and for people who have asthma, to remove their respiratory disorders. You may continuously do it for a long period of time, or you may do repetition. When you get tired, you breathe out and you go down. Take 1 or 2 long deep breaths and breathing in again, you come up. The feet have to be together, the knees have to be together. You lift the elbows, you push the shoulder back, you open the chest and do the yogic breathing while maintaining the focus on the solar plexus. We do this for 2 to 3 minutes again. After having done it for 2 to 3 minutes, we go down. Now, a very important thing. Whenever you do Bhujangasana, the next position to do is the Balasana. The feet are together, the knees are together, the head is on the ground, and the hands are placed next to the body. This is a relaxing position. In this position, you just observe your body and do the yogic breathing. You must relax. Observe your body. Do not let your mind go away from the body. Observe your toes, your calf, your knee, your thigh, your hips, your pelvis, your belly, your chest, your lower spine, your upper spine, your shoulder, your bicep, your elbow, your wrist, your fingers, your neck, your mouth, your nose, your head. And after that, you may slowly sit up and do one of the meditation positions. Various positions. This is the Sukhasana, which you can perform, anyone can do. The next meditation position that you could do is the Siddhasana, where the left leg is in front of the pelvis and the right leg is in front of the pelvis. The next one is the Swastikasana, where you take the toe and you keep it between the thigh and the calf, and then you take the other toe and you keep it between the thigh and the calf also. The next position is Ardha Padmasana, where only one leg you may keep it on the thigh. And the king of the meditation positions, the Padmasana. At this point of time, your asana sequence is over and you may do Anulom Vilom, keeping one hand in Dhyan Mudra and the other hand in Vishnu Mudra. Bring it on the nose. Breathe out. Breathe in. Cover the nostril and open the other nostril. From the other nostril, breathe out. Breathe in. Cover that nostril and breathe out from the other nostril. We must maintain the focus on the breath and do this process of breathe out, breathe in, cover the nostril, go to the other nose, breathe out, breathe in, cover the nostril, and we must repeat this cycle for a period of 12 minutes. This is Anulom Vilom. It must be performed every single day of your life. Thank you for watching us, for following our instructions. I hope yoga benefits you as it has benefited humanity for thousands and thousands of years.